A threat to public safety. Florida's Attorney General Ashley Moody calling on Meta's Mark Zuckerberg to testify on human trafficking cases in that state.
They have a responsibility if they are a leading platform for when we see cases involving human trafficking. They have a responsibility to be just as determined and creative and aggressive when it comes to protecting their consumers.
Miami Mayor and 2024 GOP presidential candidate Francis Suarez is here with us now. Obviously, this is a huge issue. It's great to have you on the program, and I want to get your response to, the way Facebook is launching Threads, pardon me, Meta, I should call them, launching their new platform Threads, and everybody's raving about it as a competitor for Twitter. But when you really start to dig back and pull back some of these layers, there's some nefarious activity across all Meta platforms that the company needs to be held accountable for, sir. Your thoughts?
Well, there's no doubt that if a large percentage, as the Attorney General was saying, emanates from or is used in terms of Meta's platform for human trafficking, then the top executives, including Mark Zuckerberg, have to answer for that. And I think the second piece is, if Meta or Threads has taken a significant part of Twitter former employees and is using Twitter's IP to create Threads, I think that's also something that we should be concerned about, because that's what China does. China basically reverse engineers our codes, and then they add one or two features to it to try to make it seem like it's something unique. But they've been stealing somewhere between $250 billion and $500 billion worth of our intellectual property on an annual basis. And what are they doing with it? They're using it to subvert us in our own hemisphere, which creates immigration pressure and a rise of leftist regimes, in our hemisphere, for which we have done nothing under this administration.
Mayor, let's shift gears to 2024. By all accounts, you have been a very successful mayor in Miami. But if you look around the political landscape, we have seen mayors try to make the leap to the national stage, and I would say they haven't had a lot of success. You're talking about a job as a president that's an international role, not just a national role. Make the case for why your experience prepares you for what you'd like to do.
Well, I think Miami is not the same as South Bend, for example. And I think the Miami story is radically different from what was achieved in South Bend. I think in Miami, we are #1 in the nation in wage growth. That's something that we've done because I've reduced taxes to the lowest level in history. I'm the only candidate in the entire field that has reduced a public sector budget by 20%, which is exactly what we have to reduce our federal budget to balance our budget and see this historic inflation and historic rise in interest rates go away. I think Miami's an incredibly international city. You talked about the international component of being the president of the United States. We're known as the gateway to Latin America, but I really believe that now with direct flights from the Middle East, with the attempts to get direct flights from Asia, from Japan and Korea, that the position of mayor of Miami and as president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, president of all the mayors in the entire country of the United States, that puts me in a unique position where I've met with and know a lot of world leaders that a normal mayor wouldn't necessarily know. And then when you consider, I think the most important thing in this campaign will be, how do you grow the economy on a sustained basis for a generation?
Yeah.
I'm the only candidate that has actually done that.
One of the ways to grow is, let's talk about Bitcoin and ingenuity and innovation. You've accepted your salary in Bitcoin, but you have the SEC looking to crack down. Meanwhile, an administration may be looking at a central bank digital currency. What is your plan when it comes to crypto crackdowns and a central bank digital currency should you be in office?
Well, first, I want to tell everyone sort of a call to action to go on my website, www.francissuarez.com, and donate $1 if they want to continue to hear me. And I thank you for the time and the opportunity to talk about this very important subject. I'm not a fan of central bank digital currencies because I don't want the federal government to know who has my money or who has anyone's money. That's a huge privacy concern. And I think most people at the very minimum are against central bank digital currencies for that reason alone. In terms of Bitcoin, what I like about Bitcoin is it's a check and balance on the Fed's and the monetary policy and the federal policy related to the creation of money, you have an alternative. Right now, you have a federal government that's spending trillions and trillions of dollars more than what it's taking in. And then you have a Fed that's trying to counteract that by raising interest rates by 5 percentage points in the quickest amount of time in a 40-year span. That wreaks havoc on people. It makes the poor because they have less purchasing power in their bank accounts and they got to pay more money for borrowing costs. The good news about Bitcoin is they have an alternative for cross-border payments. It's perfectly liquid. I think it's up 85%. This year alone, although I don't like to, focus on the price because I'm not trying to make a price argument. What I'm trying to make is an argument for an alternative asset class that is not manipulated by what can be a political body at times.
Okay, real quick, Mayor, if you're elected, if people vote for you, they want to know day one, what can they expect from your administration? What would you do day one?
Day one, I would talk about introducing a constitutional amendment to balance our budget. In all cases except for war or a pandemic. I would reach out to Saudi Arabia to try to get an Abraham Accords-like deal done with Israel. And I would start the process of talking about how do we build a generational economy. In Miami, like I said, we have the lowest unemployment in America. We grew by 12% by reducing taxes. So I would start building the economy of the future on day one.
Focus on the economy and pocketbook issues. Mayor Suarez, thank you. I really appreciate your time with us.